What is going on out there, peeps? All right, let's get back into what's going on in Iraq. A lot of things have happened while I've been away. I will cover them in just a brief second. A reminder to everybody that if you're thinking about buying precious metals, give consideration to our friends over there at Money Metals Exchange. The link is in the description. If you are a first-time buyer in Puerto Rico or the United States and spend more than $100, use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and get a free half ounce of silver. You guys know I got this other channel called The Hidden Things in Front of Your Eyes. Let me encourage you guys to come on over there and join it. There has videos in here that have subject matter that I can't talk about on this particular channel. So nonetheless, and then you guys know I got Pimpy's Investment Chats, the same name as the YouTube channel. Over here we do talk about investment opportunities, gold, silver, cryptocurrencies, as well as foreign currency investments. All right, so you come on over here. It's free to join. The link is down in the description. Okay, so as you guys are well aware, I've been away for a little while. And so what I'm just going to do, there's a lot of news in here, but there's specific questions you guys are asking me about. We will cover them. First of all, this guy right here, the profile, the architect of the ISIS war and the attack on Baghdad at the head of the Pentagon. So this particular general here, they call him the Silent General. People keep asking my opinion about him in the Middle East. He's been there. He has a rapport already with Iraq. The other thing is, he was not on board with the strategy that Obama had for the Middle East. So this guy really does have already a built-in relationship that's good. I'm curious to see how he's going to handle things. I'm still straddling the fence on how I feel about him, what I think is going to happen. But he, in my opinion, is the right guy for who we want there, if you get my drift. All right, handling all things in the Middle East. Now, I will also tell you this. I told you this is going to happen, and already it is happening. A couple things. One, there is troop movement going into Syria. Yep, all over again. Remember I told you, the last thing we want to do is get a third term of Obama in there, and they start doing the same old thing. The good thing is this guy is going to be taking over and has been nominated for defense ministry. So hopefully he will have a lot of influence on what's going on in the Middle East. Even though this general did not always see eye to eye with Obama, it just so happened that Biden and this guy happen to be on the same page about a couple of things. So let's hope that they work together to keep peace in the Middle East. All right. Trump has gone a long ways to make that happen. I'm not thrilled about the Iran nuke deal, as you guys are all aware of. That's very dangerous. Now, let me show you how emboldened people are feeling over there. Well, ISIS is blowing stuff up again. I guess they're just saying, hey, don't forget about us. We're on the same team, bud. When are you going to send some money and some more troops our way so we can start growing again? Yeah, they're already bombing people again and taking credit for it. Iran is being bold. They're firing off rockets. They're like, hey, don't forget us, buddy, old pal. We know what Obama did during his administration. We know you're the VP. We'd like to see that all continue. I'm not sure where Biden is going to go on this. He has said some pretty bold things that I think are interesting that tend to slightly line up, believe it or not, with Trump. Yeah. Biden almost seems howbound and determined to do things his way instead of just running lockstep with Obama, which would be a good way for him to stick the middle finger to Obama. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's possible. Remember, Obama didn't want this guy to run. Obama didn't support him. This is his VP. You know what I mean? The guy didn't come out till after he was the person selected for the Democrat. So maybe this is Biden's way of saying, yeah, I know what I said just to get into the presidency, but that doesn't mean I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it my way. So let's see if that happens. But yeah, some interesting things have happened. The other thing that makes me nervous about Biden, he was signing some documents on his desk, and he literally bent his head over to the side and said, what am I signing? I don't even know what I'm signing. Well, then why the hell are you signing it? You could see Pelosi and Schumer in the background just salivating. They know they could slip some stuff right under Biden and get away with it. Oh, yeah. Don't think that's not going to happen. It will. Okay, so this gentleman right here, I think if he continues with the strategy that he had originally talked about as far as how to deal with Afghanistan and how he has his relationship with Iraq, that's not benefiting Iran. So let's hope that this guy will carry some strong influence with Biden. Biden listens to him. Biden did side with him before. Let's see if it continues. Most of this other stuff you guys know we've been talking about. The budgets are still going on back and forth. But I'm going to get to the part that you guys are talking about. They're going to vote on the budget this upcoming week, which I believe is today, sometime tomorrow. So by the time you're asleep, it's already happening. So there was, I like this, for the first time, including the dues of the oil companies in the Kurdistan regional budget. So get them in there, get them dues and fees. That's one of the things we talked about. And this is another thing I like too, because we talked about some of these indicators. The Iraq finance minister talks about positive indicators regarding the 2021 budget. One of the things are what they budgeted the 2021 budget for. They had calculated a lower price per barrel of oil. They also had a bigger deficit. Once they made the adjustment to the budget and reduced a lot of unnecessary spending, the deficit is going to be cut down. They are projecting by about 25%. This is good. What I don't like them talking about is reaching out to the IMF about borrowing monies. We don't want them to deal with the IMF. Okay, the barrels most likely will sell at a higher value. They'll be much more valuable than what they budgeted for, which means they'll have more money. Hopefully they'll use it properly and keep doing what they can to knock down that deficit. We will see where this goes, or start working on other projects so that they're not so reliant on oil to help pay for their budget. So there's a lot of things going on that we like to see happening. The second largest oil producers over there in OPEC, we also know that instead of producing one oil, they're going to be producing 4. This is a good thing. Again, stay away from the IMF. The change in the budget for price per barrel helps out with their deficit. This also, I like what they're saying here, is look, Iraq can then reset the second lowest cost loan at $4 million for the International Monetary Fund. Or I shouldn't say this is good. We want them to stay away from the IMF. But what they're saying over here is, this is what happens if we work with the IMF. You know what I mean? Where's it at? It says the U.S. agency stated that the financing the IMF would cover a small part of the expected deficit in the budget, but it would reduce the severity, the depletion of its foreign exchange reserves. All right. Now that's bad because they need to build up the reserves in order to have a stronger currency. We don't want them to deplete that. That's not good. So this is another reason why we need to stay away from the IMF. I think they are at a point right now where they should just give it a try and not borrow no money and see how things go. Let's hope that oil prices continue to stay high. And, again, they got the taxes coming out, the deductions coming out. We know this. Okay. I think if they could just get past these first couple of months of the year, I think they'll do just fine. Okay, anyways, I know you guys are asking me about, there was something in here about the rate change. Okay, so I seen an article, this is interesting, I love this. It might be digital, but will it really be currency? While central banks examine a case for developing a digital currency, many might not be allowed to do so by their own bylaws. More in the new IMF staff research. Good. Don't go 100% digital currency. We don't want that. Anyways, in one of the articles, it was talking about the gentleman was saying that there was a bunch of amendments made to the budget that's really going to help things out. But one thing that stayed the same was the change that they had implemented earlier in the Iraqi dinar exchange rate. Then in the article that goes down a little bit more, the man explains that they intend to keep it at the rate that it is now for the next 3 years. It's got some of you guys bummed out. I told you guys this. Whenever you hear good news, don't get overly excited. Whenever you hear bad news, don't get overly bummed out. There's a lot of things to take in consideration. if the price of oil continues to rise and their budget is set at something lower than that, then well, that helps them out with their deficit, all right? Prevents them from spending their foreign currencies. They can start using the money that they get from the oil revenue, auctioning the dollars off for foreign currencies and build up their reserves. I know it's kind of hard because the banks don't want to part with the US dollars because they're losing their faith in the dinar. In one article, it says they plan on keeping the rate that it's at now for the next 3 years. Some of you are going, oh my God, we have to wait 3 years? That's possible. That's very possible. Like I said, when you guys hear good news, don't get overly excited. When you hear bad news, don't get overly bummed out. Now, my opinion, is it going to stay that way for 3 years? No, I don't think so. Like I said, if the economy start opening up and Iraq continues to use the money to open up private sectors and they start finding alternative ways to generate money for the government outside of just depending on oil, and oil prices keep rising, that would be a great situation for Iraq as long as they can stay stable and avoid any kind of other conflicts like they always manage to get into. So hopefully peace will remain in the Middle East. Iraq will continue to grow. And if they could do this, I think the rate change would change a little bit quicker. Not to mention, again, we're anticipating the collapse of the US dollar. The more it loses its power, the more other currencies' rates against the US dollar changes. If for whatever reason something caused the US dollar to lose 40-60% of its value, well then other currencies would rise that much against it. Okay? So it's more than just them coming out going abracadabra, RI, RV. No, there's other factors that we could be watching as well. Okay? So stay positive. I still have mine. I still watch for it to change. Not to mention the fact they still haven't started mining the gold over there that they have sitting on the surface. It's supposed to be the second largest deposit of gold out there. With the demand on precious metals being as is, and the scarcity being as is, I can imagine, soon you're going to start seeing them entertain. As a matter of fact, I know they're entertaining bids now, so let's see what happens. But they start getting companies out there that are mining the gold, and if they can avoid any kind of attacks from ISIS or Iran and stays pretty stable there, that's just another form of income for Iraq. As a matter of fact, that would help them build up their gold reserves personally. I think there should be a law that their country pockets a certain percentage of everything that gets mined, just so the government, this gold will help out the government and the Iraqi people. You shouldn't just sell it automatically. I think they should build up a type of reserve, you know what I mean, before they start offering it to the public. But obviously, they got to offer it to the public or to other countries in order to generate the money that's needed to help out with the budget. So nonetheless, though, there's other oil that's getting ready to be discovered here magically. I think you're going to see Iraq move to possibly the largest deposits of oil in the world. Maybe, yeah, that's possible, even more than Venezuela. It's there. We want to see it happen. We know they signed all kinds of memorandums of understanding to do businesses with other countries. We know that's going to happen too. So here again, it says, so the 2021 budget, it has some major changes. It says, what happened to the dollar exchange rate? Nothing. They left it there. That's the only thing that didn't change. That should not be a surprise. If they put it there in the first place to help them deal with the deficit, and I don't mean put it there, but I mean if they lowered the value of the dinar against the US dollar in hopes of helping them with the budget, well then, if the budget is re-examined and the value of oil is changed where they're now getting more money than they had anticipated, it makes sense to kind of keep the dinar rate where it is. so they can hurry up and get through as much of their deficit as quickly as possible. So the one article in here says 3 years. Do I think it's going to take 3 years? I don't. But is it possible? Of course it is. They're announcing it. All right? But I don't want you people to be bummed out about it. I don't want you to assume that they're going to take all 3 years. We're waiting to see what happens. Okay? So yeah, I seen that article, and I don't want, and a lot of people have asked me about it. So here's my opinion. It looks like everything, see, this is ISIS already showing their butts off. So it looks to me like there's a lot of good things here. There's parliamentary finance. The exchange rate of the dollar will remain high for the coming years. And how long is that? They're saying the next 3 years. Just because they say it, don't mean that's how long it's going to take. There is a lot of other things, other factors to take into consideration. So what they're saying right here is that this is where they believe it's going to be. This is according to the plan. Okay? So this is what the plan says. Do plans change? Yes, they do change. Okay? So if, again, if all of a sudden they got some unexpected money coming to them that they weren't budgeting for, and they just keep the rate where it is, that just means they can get through their deficit a lot quicker. So let's hang tight. Again, I it does say 3 years. I know a lot of you are asking me about that, and I'll just tell you what I just said. Is it possible? Of course it's possible. Many of us remember when they made an announcement, that was the Iraqi dinar rate change would not happen for the next 5 years back in 2014, and it went all the way up to 2019, and there still was no rate change. So they announced it then. There's no reason not to believe that it wouldn't stay for 3 years. I mean, I have my own theories on why it's not going to last 3 years. I just shared them with you. So they're announcing it, but let's see if it actually happens. Nothing wrong with being prepared for it. I know some of you guys were already counting your money before you actually got it. But again, we're not taking into consideration things like the value of the US dollar dropping. You know what I mean? The value of gold going up. So those things all play in a big factor on what's going on with these exchange rates. So hang tight, stay positive. Keep the positive juju going. Keep the positive mojo going. All right, you guys? That's it for now, but I don't want you guys to get bummed out. I told you don't get bummed out one way or another because things change all the time and they happen quickly. Okay? So that's where we are for now. There's a lot of news on there. Most of it's stuff we already know about and talked about a million times. But I'll be keeping more up to date on things. My apologies for stepping away. It's dealing with some personal stuff, but here we are right now. All right, so hit the thumbs up button if you like the video. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I surely do appreciate it. And I'll catch you later.